What is the significance of merit in Ramayana and Mahabharata?
What's the relationship between Maulana Azad and Aurobindo Ghosh?
What is India's rank in Global Innovation Index?
What is the difference between artificial intelligence and artificial general intelligence? Which do you think is more disruptive?
May I come in, sir?
Yes, come in.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Please give a brief introduction about yourself.
So, my name is Dwij Goel. I come from historical city Meerut. After my primary education, I have done my graduation in mechanical engineering from NIT Bhopal. Thereafter, I worked for a year in Hero MotoCorp Limited, automobile sector. And in the last civil services examination, I have been allotted Pondicherry Civil Services, and I have joined it. And sir, I would like to mention that yesterday only I have got my UPPCS result and I have been selected for Deputy Collector.
Wonderful. Congratulations to you, Dwij.
Thank you so much, sir.
Now you tell me, you are already a bureaucrat now in the making. Anyway, as because you don't have any field experience, I will not be asking you any question related to how the bureaucracy functions in our country. But tell me, you have had the experience of working in Hero MotoCorp.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? How was your experience there?
So my experience was good. I learned a lot of things from my seniors, as well as the industrial exposure was really good.
Okay. To the best of my knowledge and understanding, Hero MotoCorp has a strong focus on innovation, sustainability and all that.
Yes, sir.
So what have you learned about the innovations from while working there?
Sir, I learned that proactiveness innovation is very much desired. For example, when I joined the industry was transitioning from the BS4 vehicles to BS6 vehicles. So we were very proactive in innovatively redesigning and reprocessing the supply chain. So I worked on that. I worked on the assembly line for redesigning it according to the BS6 vehicles.
Okay, what do you mean by innovation exactly?
So innovation means when we bring out some change in the current process, which is very different from the existing process and which brings something new to the system.
Can you give us one example of innovation in the context of our country? So
like recently ISRO tested its reusable launch vehicle where the testing vehicle of launching the satellites can re-enter the atmosphere very successfully without getting burned. So that is the example of innovation.
What is India's rank in Global Innovation Index?
So the last ranking I read was about it was 43.
Out of?
Sorry, sir, I do not remember.
We are not very. The position is not very encouraging. My question: why India is lagging in innovation?
So the firstly is the funding in the R&D sector. We are spending 0.6% of our GDP on research and development, and there is a lack of private sector participation in research and development ecosystem. And secondly, sir, we have this industry academia linkage gap. If we are not able to link our industry and academia, so that is also another issue. And there is a third issue is that patenting issue, the issue in our IPR ecosystem, intellectual property rights. It is somewhat weak, and we need to work on that front to have our innovations get recognized.
Last question from my side, Dwij. You have been selected as Deputy Collector in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Tell me one major problem of UP, which according to you is real major. Identify that problem and how are you going to address that problem?
So the major issue is regional imbalance. I think, sir, by focusing on specific regions and catering to their demands. For example, if I talk about Bundelkhand region, then Bundelkhand region has specific issues of not irrigated land. Land is not irrigated and it is dependent on the rainfall. So I think when we can cater to that specific region's demand, like we can go for millet cultivation, and we can go for the MSME sector there, we can plant industries there. So I think by region-specific development, we would be better able to tackle the challenges.
How will you bring the entire Eastern UP at par with the Western UP as far as the economy is concerned?
So the issue with the Eastern UP, primarily in the agriculture sector, the land is fragmented. So by focusing on the food processing industries there and by land pooling and growing of the agriculture sector, primarily we can go for increasing its economy. And secondly, I think sir, Eastern UP also has the tourism potential. So we can also focus on that for improving its economy.
Do you have any idea of PDS scheme working in the UP? PDS, you know, public distribution system.
Yes, sir.
How does it work in UP? Any idea?
Sorry, sir, I do not know the specifics.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Dwij,
Yes, sir.
when we compare Eastern UP with that of Western UP, regarding the condition of weavers, I found weavers of Eastern UP, they are better off compared to weavers of Eastern UP, particularly Hapur area and other areas, Muradabad and so many areas are there. You are quite familiar with those areas. So tell me almost the three factors behind this.
With this, Western UP is better. So the first is the
Eastern UP condition of weavers far better compared to Western UP.
So first is the historical linkage and historical linkages with their weaving crafts, and also the cultural aspect that brings the Eastern weavers to an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I could think of one only, sir.
You don't have any idea about the infrastructure, logistics, and other things, the capital?
Sorry, sir, I do not.
You don't have any idea about that. Okay, no problem. You are Dwij. Okay, what is the meaning of Dwij?
Sir, Dwij means twice born. It relates to that a person is born, one from the womb of her mother, and second when it goes for attaining true knowledge.
True knowledge. So there is a transition from physical birth to spiritual birth.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it related to any kind of ceremony? Any ceremony?
Yes, sir. Upanayan sanskar is usually done for initiating into this Dwij aspect.
There are 4 varnas in history. And do you think that all the varnas, they were eligible for this Upanayan ceremony?
Sir, initially it was irrespective of the varnas, but in post-Vedic period it got limited to the top 3 varnas only.
You have studied anthropology. There is a great deal of study about races, okay? Racial evolution, everything is there. Dwij, I believe in just one race, that is human race. What is your opinion about this?
Sir, I also believe in that there is one race, that is human race. And genetic study also proved that 99.9% of human genes are similar. So 0.1% is not enough for differentiating the races. So, sir, I also believe that there is only one race, human race.
And Dwij, if I ask you that you should identify any race to UP, another to Northeast India, are you in a position to identify the population of these 2 areas with any particular race?
Sir, I do not think that we can classify by races because after globalization and after that much migration, physical traits even has got intermixed. So I do not think, sir, we can classify in races, but we can, in a shorter aspect, we can classify as ethnic groups if we can.
Dwij, now you are going to join as a deputy collector, okay? And UP government has envisaged one very ambitious objective, that is to achieve 1 trillion economy. How is it possible?
Sir, it is possible by focusing on various sectors of economy, like boosting agriculture through food processing industries, and by increasing the agriculture productivity and irrigation efficiency. If I talk in terms of industries, then UP governments focus on boosting the MSME sector, providing them single window clearance, and in the industrial sector, UP government is also focusing on defense corridor and boosting the infrastructure by various highways. Similarly, they are focusing on service sector. So I think by focusing on the economy as well as on the human capital, because the focus on human capital by building their skills and capacity building, I think by a wholesome approach of taking people together by delivering to the last mile after 2032, I think we would be able to achieve $1 trillion economy.
Okay, so you have set a limit of 32. Okay, by 32, UP will be in a position to achieve.
Sir, considering the current growth rate of UP, I think by 2032, it would be able to achieve $1 trillion.
Last question from my side. Now, in anthropology, we are witnessing a transition from primitive study, or study based on primitive people, to peasant and urban societies. Are you familiar with this?
Yes, sir.
Can you give me any example of any anthropological study pertaining to peasant and urban societies?
Yes, sir. Sir, there is an anthropological study on Allahabad, where they focused on the traditions of Allahabad people, that they are still stuck to their roots in the villages. So they still follow the culture of what they were following in the villages. Sir, I do not remember the exact name of the scholar, but that was one of the study. And second I could remember was by J.K. Krant, which was webnography, that in the changing scenario of a digital era, now anthropological study can be done on web by Google searches and by various softwares which tries to gather the data and analyze them.
Any case study?
Sorry, sir, I cannot recall.
Okay, thank you, Dwij.
Thank you, sir.
Dwij, you have studied from Hapur.
Yes, sir.
Why is Hapur known nowadays? Why it is famous?
Sir, it is famous for its household furnitures and appliances.
Okay, Hapur is also having a very big grain mandi.
Yes, sir.
A word jeans is also used. Jeans. Have you heard this word, jeans?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of it.
Okay. So, and nowadays you said that you are undergoing training in Pondicherry Civil Service?
Yes, sir, I have joined a month ago and I'm undergoing training. Currently, I'm on leave, sir.
Okay, so how long you stayed in the training process?
Sir, I was there for 20 days.
Where?
Sir, in Pondicherry, and then I got shifted to Yanam because Yanam is administratively governed by Pondicherry only. So I have been given charge as a municipal commissioner for looking after the day-to-day functioning.
So which are the other areas apart from Pondicherry and Yanam under the Union Territory of Pondicherry?
Sir, Karaikal is there, which is in Tamil Nadu, and Mahe, which is in Kerala.
So why these scattered territories are put into under one unit?
Sir, it was because of its historical past. In 1954, the government of India had an agreement with the French when they left India. So in the agreement itself, it was said that these territories would be governed independently under one territory. So they cannot be mixed like that because of the agreement.
So is it binding upon us to continue to respect that treaty? Can we change that?
Sir, morally, I think we should not change it because we had an agreement and the administration is functioning nicely. But I think if in the future demands come from the people side, then things can be relooked upon.
Okay. Why Karaikal is called Karaikal?
Sorry, sir, I do not know. I must have known this. Sorry, I'm really sorry, sir.
Karaikal is the name of a ruler of ancient time. Have you heard about him? Karaikal is a person, ruler.
No, sir,
okay.
Sorry, sir.
You have studied from Maulana Azad National Institute of Technology, Bhopal.
Yes, sir.
And you have lived in Pondicherry. And in Pondicherry, we find an ashram set up by Aurobindo.
Yes, sir.
What's the relationship between Maulana Azad and Aurobindo Ghosh?
Sir, during 1905 Bengal partition, they were both active participants and for arousing the nationalist spirit, and they were against that partition. And they, through their scholarly works, tried to arouse nationalist feeling in people and tried to educate them about the exploitation of British Raj.
You stayed in that institution for 4 long years, which is named after Maulana Azad. Which part of his personality has influenced you, which you can see yourself?
Sir, I think he was a very visionary leader because I think I relate to that, because after independence, when he became the first education minister, he had the vision of giving the equitable, accessible education to all in India. So I think I relate to that, sir.
Okay. So did we adopt a policy, national policy under him, education policy?
Sir, currently I do not remember if during his tenure we adopted a policy or not.
Which year? Which was the first national education policy, and when did we adopt it?
Sorry, sir, I cannot recall right now.
Recently, we have adopted a new national education policy.
Yes, sir.
And of course, it is trying to build entrepreneurship and innovative traits in the personality of young person and students.
Yes, sir.
Do you think, apart from the expression of aspiration and objectives, we have also introduced sufficient instrumentality in the policy to groom these qualities in person? That is, what kind of course of action we are going to adopt under the policy to really build entrepreneurship skills in people?
So for entrepreneurship skill building, I think relating the school curriculum with the vocational training can be one aspect. And second is the continuous mentorship support that should be provided by the seniors or the outside industrial mentors who can regularly guide the students. And thirdly, sir, teacher training should be focused on, because ultimately it rests to the teachers that how they deal with the students and how they nurture them. So I think, sir, these three aspects should be included in that.
Okay. Now let's say you are selected as you are already administrator selected in UP, and you find yourself surrounded by some juniors and colleagues having different personality traits. Some are having entrepreneurship skills and some are very patriotic persons. So which person you'll prefer? A person who is lacking entrepreneurship skill but highly patriotic, and another person who is having high level of entrepreneurship skill but not very enthusiastic patriotic person?
Sir, I think in this scenario, patriotism should be the main quality, because if we are building on the entrepreneurship without lacking patriotism, then it can be harmful for the nation. While on the other side, if the person is lacking entrepreneurship skills but is patriot, then I think by capacity building and by certain training, we can go for inculcating that enterprising spirit in that person. So, sir, I will choose the second one, where the person is patriot and still lacks some entrepreneurship skills, but we can build upon them.
And if you have to make a choice between two persons, one is highly patriotic and another is highly nationalistic personality?
Sir, I will choose highly patriotic.
Not nationalist?
Sir, as per my limited understanding, nationalist person may sometimes not be acceptable to the changes in the society and the changes the nation needs at the time. So I think a patriotic person, while loves the nation, but is equally acceptable to the changes which is needed in the country. So I will go with this, sir, patriotism.
So this is a fine difference between patriotism and nationalism?
Sir, to my understanding, I think this is the difference.
Okay. Can you tell us names of those ladies who are chief ministers in states of India?
Sir, currently or in the past also?
Yeah, currently.
Sir, Honorable Mamata Banerjee ji from West Bengal.
Okay, what about the names of those ladies who are governors of any state in India? How many ladies are governors in India, in different states?
So first I will start with the Pondicherry only. It is having Lady Governor, Honorable Dr. Tamilisai Soundarajan ma'am. Then in UP, Honorable Anandiben Patel ma'am. I could recall right now these two only, sir.
The position of a governor is becoming more and more visible nowadays in Indian polity because they have been inciting some kind of controversy. Do you think the president wants them to exert the power of governors? And if yes, how it could be helpful to Indian polity?
Sir, pardon?
Post of governor is becoming more and more visible in media, yes, perhaps because there is more and more eruption of controversy around the governors. So, do you feel that as an agent of President of India, the President wants them to be more assertive? And if yes, how it can affect the polity of India?
Sir, I beg to differ. I think the President does not want that. Governor is acting in their independent capacity, which they derive the power from the Constitution of India. I think, sir, the controversy sometimes erupts due to the politics or political vendetta. But I think the governor, and I believe that governor should act within the constitutional framework and within the boundaries of law, acting as the agent of the center and as a linchpin of, as a bridge between center and state, and strengthening our federal democracy.
Okay. Thank you, Dwij.
Thank you.
Dwij,
Yes, sir.
what is the significance of merit in Ramayana and Mahabharata?
Sir, in Ramayana, the wife of Raman, Mandodari, used to worship in a temple near Meerut, which is now called Kali Paltan, and his cousin Khardushan also lives near Meerut. And in Mahabharata, the Hastinapur was the capital of Kuru kingdom, so they used to live there.
Okay. So it means eastern part of UP, almost kind of you can say that the god belongs to that area, and then all those evil powers, they were on the western side of Uttar Pradesh at that point of time.
Sir, I beg to differ. I would not call Pandavas as evil power, but I would say that it was a dynamics between evil and the good people, and evil and good may coexist.
Why Meerut was named as Meerut?
Sir, there are two stories regarding it. One is that it was because of Asur, Maya. It was raised Maya Rashtra. Then from Maya Rashtra it was renamed Meerut. And secondly, it is about the meh. It came from meh, that is about the alcohol, which comes from the sugar industry. So that's why it's one named Meerut.
Okay. Could you name a few old civilizations which were in existence?
Yes, sir. Sir, Indus Valley civilization, then Mesopotamian civilization. Keladi is the one which is now found a new possible civilization in the Tamil Nadu.
So since you are not aware of Mayan civilization, let's move towards another question. Why Mughal era that has been eliminated from the syllabus?
Sir, it has not been eliminated from the syllabus, but as per the NCERT's approach of cutting down the syllabus, some pages have been cut off from the syllabus, specifically from the class 7th NCERT, where they have mentioned some micro points about the Mughal rulers.
What is your opinion, whether those has to be eliminated because it has been so long that were taught to the students, whether that was wrong at that time or we are doing wrong in current scenario?
Sir, it is as per the dynamics of the time, because currently NCERT is focusing on cutting down the syllabus, specifically after COVID when the students are having high burden. So it is as per that approach of the NCERT, but I do not think that it should become a political vendetta of discriminating any part of the syllabus. It should be in a fair manner, so that the center of that should be students, keeping in mind their studies and the values they would learn.
Okay, one of your hobbies is writing short Hindi poems.
Yes, sir.
Why only short poems?
Sir, I think I am a mature writer, so I prefer writing short poems on which I can reflect my creativity and expressions.
Okay, sometimes it is said that if somebody is writing short poems or short prose, then his thinking is also very short. He can think up to that much of limit only. Is it true?
Sir, I beg to differ here, because sometimes in 1 or 2 lines only we can say so much deep that it would have a long lasting impact.
Okay, so let's, would you like to recite few of your lines?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Which has a greater meaning in 1 or 2 lines. Please.
So please allow me to use Hindi. प्रहार है विचारों का, तिलिस्म का आगाज है, चयन करो शब्दों का, शब्द ही साज है.
Okay, one or two more. One more, please.
Yes, sir. तर बतर अक्षर अक्षर, तर बतर आंखें आंखें, तर बतर अक्षर अक्षर, तर बतर आंखें आंखें, मेल मिला दो शब्दों का तुम, मिले सब आहें बाहें.
Okay.
Dwij,
Yes, sir.
you come from Uttar Pradesh, right?
Yes, sir.
And in Uttar Pradesh, we have seen the government has been renaming places quite a lot. Okay, it happens all over the country and all over the world, but still in Uttar Pradesh, it has got a lot of media attention. So, what is it? Why the need to rename places, and is it just politics?
Sir, firstly, sometimes the demands come from the people side for restoring the name of the places in context of their history and cultural significance. And secondly, sir, sometimes it becomes a political issue also because of inclusion of certain political vendettas. So I think, sir, it is a both, but the first one should be in the place if we are going for that, and secondly, administrative cost inclusion in that should also be looked upon.
Can you tell me the name of few places in Uttar Pradesh which have been renamed?
Yes, sir. Sir, Allahabad has been renamed as Prayagraj. And there are talks for renaming Aligarh also and Firozabad, but they have not been renamed right now.
Any other place which has been renamed other than Prayagraj?
I could recall, sir. This one.
Okay. Now, Uttar Pradesh is also following a policy of population control, which is not in conformity with what the central government is doing or how central government is looking at population stabilization. Now, with which government do you agree more, with the state government or with the central government, and why?
Sir, looking at the state government's policy of population control, it focuses on stabilizing the population, that is total fertility ratio, and also reducing the infant mortality rate and maternal mortality rate. While it has also given a program for special incentives.
And disincentives also.
And disincentives, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. In the central government, while on the focusing on family planning and bringing awareness to the people, and since the overall average TFR has come down to 2.0, so it is now focusing more on population stabilization, controlling the momentum of the population. I think, sir, the strategy of both are significant in their own aspects, because central government is looking at it from the scenario of 2.0. and the state government still are looking at it from the scenario of 2.4, which is the current TFR of Uttar Pradesh government. So I think, sir, different in approaches because of their statistics.
Okay. What do you understand by this One China policy? What is this? One China policy?
So One China policy is about China is considering that it's Taiwan and Hong Kong, they are part of One China only, which they promulgated since the 1940s.
Is Hong Kong also part of One China, or it is part of one country, two systems?
Sir, it is part of one country, two system, but it is there for 50 years. So I think, but China still considers that it is about One China only.
Okay, so China expects India to follow One China policy, while on the other hand, China has renamed almost 11 odd places which are very much within Arunachal Pradesh, integral part of India, and still we are following One China policy. Do you see a problem here?
Sir, I think we are abiding by our foreign policy, which is mutual respect, respecting the sovereignty of the nation. While China is not respecting.
This doesn't seem to be a case of mutual respect, because we are respecting China's sensitivity, but on the other hand, China is not respecting our sensitivity.
Yes, sir, that is the issue with Chinese, that they are flexing their muscles and their aggressive rise is a cause of concern. And I think India should be cautious of that and be pragmatic about his approach towards China.
Okay. What is the difference between artificial intelligence and artificial general intelligence? Which do you think is more disruptive?
I'm sorry, sir, I do not understand the technical aspect of artificial general intelligence. If I may, if you may allow, then I can speak to you. Sir, artificial intelligence is the broader perspective where we are training machines for thinking like humans artificially. But artificial general intelligence is when we are training AI for doing the general work, like for some calculations.
You can look it up, it's a little bit different. Now, you also like trekking and hiking.
Yes.
Can you tell me what is this dark tourism?
I'm sorry, sir.
Okay. My last question to you, because you have also been engaged with the development of electric solar vehicles, right?
Yes, sir.
So, what is the significance of lithium for electric vehicles?
Sir, lithium is used for making lithium-ion batteries, and around 50% of the cost of electric vehicles come from lithium-ion battery. So that is the significance.
Can you tell me, like, what is this lithium triangle we often hear about?
Sir, it is the three countries, Argentina, Bolivia and Chile, which majorly has these lithium reserves.
Okay, and where in India recently lithium reserves have been found?
Sir, they have been found in Jammu and Kashmir, Raisi district.
Okay, thank you. So,
Dwij,
Yes, sir.
what do you mean by Sanskritization?
Sir, Sanskritization is when the lower caste tries to emulate the aspects, culture or economic aspects of the upper caste and tries to emulate them. That is Sanskritization, sir.
Do you think it is happening in modern India also, in today's India?
Sir, in modern circumstances, it has diminished to minimum because of rising caste consciousness and the added advantage of the welfare of the caste. But in one or two caste, it is happening, sir.
What do you mean by acculturation?
Sir, acculturation is when a culture group learns from the another group. That is acculturation, sir.
What are the stages of acculturation? Any idea?
So the one is when there are three aspects basically. One is when the culture is accommodative of the other culture, and second is when the culture is not that accommodative, but they are somehow existing within the same culture in two different domains. And thirdly, when they are hostile towards each other.
One final question. You are from Meerut, and there was a Meerut revolt in 1857.
Yes, sir.
Now you must have studied that revolt. Tell me, based on your understanding of the revolt, do you consider it to be merely a Sepoy mutiny, or it was really a first revolt of India's freedom struggle?
Sir, I believe that it was first war of independence for India, because it covered various sections of the society, from peasants, from soldiers, from trade unionists, and from the general civilian people also. Also, it covered the major parts of the northern part of India, from Awadh region, the western part of India. So I think, sir, it was the first war of independence, not merely a Sepoy mutiny, because many sections participated.
Okay, thank you very much, Dwij. It was nice interacting with you. Your interview is over. We go now.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
This is going to be your second interview or third interview?
Sir, second interview.
Second interview. The last was in 2020, you said, no?
Yes, sir, 2021.
21. How much marks did you get?
Sir, I got 154, relatively on the lower side.
Why such a poor marks?
Sir, I think I was not able to connect with the board on that day.
Did you speak anything which was misleading in nature, or it was based on conjectures or guesswork?
No, sir, I didn't do that. I do not know, sir, what went wrong, but I do point out 2-3 things which I think I have improved upon.
Because you are a candidate who cannot be getting such a low marks. You are capable of getting much better marks.
Yes,
so
sir.
I think this time luck will favor you, and you will get your due in your personality test. How was your experience today?
Sir, I think there were many questions which I could not answer. I think somehow I lacked some knowledge, or I could not recall many times.
It's all right. If you don't know, my whole point is that if you don't know the answer, don't venture into that area. Based on surmises, you should not be giving answers. That will impact your personality, because the whole gamut of your personality will be seen by the board. Whether you are a person of integrity or not, your answers have the honesty of purpose or not, whether your views are balanced or not, whether you are argumentative or otherwise, all those things, whether you can speak clearly, confidently, and whether you have views on various issues or not, whether you can think out of the box, unique ideas you can give on certain questions which are otherwise difficult to answer. So you have those potential qualities in you. So no issues on that. You have already faced the interview once, so I will not go into unnecessary details of that. And you have already a success story behind you. You have qualified there in Danix, then the deputy collector and all that. These are all success stories behind you, and you are aspiring to become an IAS. So go with a positive body language and a smile on your face, and give your answers to the best of your abilities.
Thank you, sir.
Based on today's interview, because you are already a deputy collector as far as the UP is concerned, isn't it?
Yes,
so
sir.
that is the best case scenario or the worst case scenario for you as of now.
Yes, sir.
You continue to be a deputy collector. So read UP thoroughly. That is very important. A lot of questions are expected, particularly how to bridge the gap between the eastern UP and the western UP. That is very important in all areas, be it innovation, be it industry, be it agriculture, be it areas of financial inclusion, social inclusion, all these 4, 5, 6 areas, and what schemes have been launched by the central government and the state government in all these areas with a view to bridge this gap. So your GSDP of one district of western UP, maybe somebody will ask you to compare with the GSDP of Noida, you compare with Shravasti, then there are stark differences. Why those are there? What all needs to be done to bridge that gap? You should have some blueprint in your mind.
Yes, sir.
So prepare a few points as far as UP is concerned. UP is also trying to attract a lot of foreign investment. Recently there was so read about that also, how much investment the event could garner and what areas. So those things should be very clear to you about the commensurate system of UP, about the river Ganga, Namami Gange project and all that. These are the issues of this thing. Then law and order problem. Some ticklish questions may be asked. They try to give a very balanced view. Keeping that in view, only the issue of weavers of Banaras was asked.
Yes.
So Banaras is again a focus area, isn't it?
Yes,
so Kashi and Kyoto, always there is a comparison. In that case, weavers, what has been done for the welfare of weavers in Banaras in the recent past, recent few years, that you should be knowing. Meerut has a huge historical significance.
Yes, sir.
So all aspects of this Mayan civilization was actually, question was asked basically to understand from you whether there is any correlation between Meerut and Mayan civilization.
Sorry, I forgot that time. After getting out, I realized that.
So that was the purpose. So these are certain things where you should not be found wanting, because these should be your strong areas.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So that was the significance of asking this question. Then Meerut has its mythological significance also. Khar Dushan, I believe there are two individuals or is one person?
So there are two individuals.
So be clear about that. There are two individuals, isn't it? Otherwise, you are a very good candidate. Very good candidate. No, you are. One question will be mechanical engineer wanting to has opted for anthropology. Why anthropology? How it is going to help you in the administration, in formulating policies and all that. Those are general type of questions. And mechanical engineering, some basics on mechanical engineering, importance of Maulana Azad in the national freedom struggle, and various aspects in the field of education particularly, what has been his contributions and all that. Their dates should be very clear. If it comes to Jamia Millia, which year and all that, you should be aware of that. Yes. And what has been his role, and which positions did he hold during his lifetime. All those things you should just update your knowledge. And 154, take it as a thing of the past. You are going to get much better marks this year and you will do well. All the best from our side. Okay. All the best to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.